everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So, full confession, filming this video is actually not the first, second, or even fifth thing on my to-do list today, but I was just feeling inspired. I have a press preview this afternoon and an event tonight at an influencer casting agency, so I need to get ready for today. I actually showered in the morning. I'm normally a night shower. I feel like people have very strong opinions on this, so let me know in the comments. Are you a morning shower person or a night shower person? But anyway, I decided to shower this morning and I'm going to do a full face of makeup, but with basically lots of new launches. So many of these are actually recent new releases from beauty brands that I've been sent in PR packages, and a couple of them are simply new to me, but I will be testing them out for you guys just to kind of change it up, like not the same old that I usually do. So I can't wait to test out these new launches with you guys. I will give you my full honest impressions of everything that I put on my face, of course. Is a day with a press preview and an event the best time to do new launches? I don't know, but we'll find out, and we'll find out together. So let's get right into today's video. Before I start putting makeup on my face, I quickly wanted to chat to you guys about some skincare that I have been trying. So this is the cleansing duo from Then I Met You. My friend Catherine actually works for Then I Met You, so she was really kind to gift me this cleansing duo set. Then I Met You is a K-beauty brand founded by Charlotte Cho, who founded Soko Glam, if you don't know her. And this is a cleansing duo. So if you guys don't know about double cleansing in K-beauty, you basically do two different cleanses. So you start with an oil-based cleanser and then you move on to a water-based cleanser, and it's supposed to do good things for your skin. I have no makeup on right now. You guys tell me. I actually have dry skin generally, but I think that my skin is looking like it still has a natural glow to it, which I like. I have a couple of spots down here, which is not unusual for me. My chin area is definitely where I tend to break out the most, but I've been testing this out for about a week. I've mostly been doing the double cleanse at the end of the day, and I'll just use this in the morning, the water-based cleanse. So I don't know. I mean, I think my skin is actually looking pretty good right now. If I do swap this out for something else, I'll be sure to update you guys on how that impacts my skin, but I've been really enjoying doing that for the last week. Another thing that people have been raving about for a long time, this is not necessarily new, but it's new to me, is the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. And what I like about this is it's a mist and it's supposed to give you a glowing complexion, which I believe it does. You can either apply this product at the end of the day, like right before you put on moisturizer, or you can apply it underneath your makeup before you do it. So I'm just gonna give that a little spritz for my face. It smells very refreshing. It's almost minty, but it's not fully minty. It's more like leafy minty, if that makes sense. I'm not describing this very well. If I were listening, I'd be like, that sounds gross, but trust me, it's not. I definitely am excited to be using this from Caudalie and can't wait to try more stuff from them too. This is my first time trying a product from First Aid Beauty. So this is their coconut priming moisturizer, and what I like about this is it actually does have a slight tint to it. If you can see that, it's not fully white. It does have just a little bit of a tint to it, which I think is really helpful for being a priming base. So I take a little dollop of that in my hands and I rub it all over my face before I apply any product to it. Moving on to foundation and concealer. So I don't actually change these kind of products up too much. If you guys watched my Fenty concealer review from the other day, you will have seen that I was able to test that one out, and that's one of like 2 or 3 concealers that I have in my collection, so not a ton. But I actually was able to partner with Revlon over on my blog, which was unreal. This video, by the way, is not sponsored. I'm not like required to do a YouTube or anything as part of our collaboration, but I did do a paid post with them over on my blog, which I will link down below in case you want to check it out to read a little more about these products. But I did just want to come on and show you guys what these look like because they are new, and I figured since we're doing all of this new stuff, I might as well include them. So this is Revlon's new Candid Photo Ready Foundation and Concealer. I feel like generally the foundations that I share with you guys are a little more high-end, so I'm really happy to be able to test out a drugstore alternative. And if there are any other drugstore foundations or drugstore products that you want me to test out, please let me know, because I definitely would like to be able to share those with you as well. And I also am testing out a new tool with these products. This is my first ever beauty blender. So as you guys know, I use my Real Technique sponge. That's kind of been my go-to. My mom put this in my stocking this year for Christmas, and as you can see, brand new, have yet to test it out. So we're going to be using it today to blend out the foundation and concealer and see what I think about this application versus the Real Techniques. The shade I'm going to use in the Rimmel foundation is 230. Its name is Bear, the corresponding name to the shade number. I might have gone one shade lighter with this one if I had had a chance to test them out, but I think it still works fine for me, especially if I go somewhere warm sometime soon, which I will be going somewhere warm sometime soon. Stay tuned. This foundation comes in a tube, but it actually has a pump on it, which makes it pretty easy to apply. So what I've kind of been doing is pumping like a small-ish amount onto my hands and then patting it on to different parts of my face. And then I'll blend it and I'll go back and add in more if I need any more. I didn't say a single word as I was blending that in because I was really trying to focus like intensely on how the application of the Beauty Blender is. I'm gonna add a little bit more foundation. I don't think I had enough up on my forehead and my chin, so I'm just gonna add in a little more now. I do like how that blended out. I can't say for sure like if this is good or bad or better or worse than my Real Techniques sponge, but generally, I do just prefer the feel of the Real Techniques sponge. This one feels a little too squishy to me, and it's also way smaller compared to Real Techniques. So I guess for now, I would prefer it over the Beauty Blender. But can I also ask you guys a question that's low-key embarrassing? And please no one like expel me from beauty YouTube. Most people seem to like to wet their beauty sponges before they use them, and I've actually never done that. So if you've done that, let me know if that really works and if I should be doing that. And sorry if I haven't been doing that this whole time and I'm like breaking beauty rules or something. Okay, this is the Rimmel Candid Antioxidant Concealer, and it comes with a doe foot applicator like this. I have the shade 15, otherwise known as light, in this shade, which I think might even be a little too light for me, but I do like my concealers, if you watched the Fenty review video, you know, to be a little bit more brightening, so that is kind of my priority when it comes to concealer. And let's go ahead and blend this out. Once it is blended, I think it is actually a pretty good shade match, especially since the foundation was a little bit darker. If you still are working while it's a little bit wet, you can kind of blend them together and it'll look more like how it's supposed to look. Let's move on to contour. So this is not a super new launch, but I don't think that I've used it in a YouTube video yet. And if I have, apologies, but this is the Profusion Cosmetics blush palette. There are 6 shades in here. As you can see, we've got a couple that are more peachy toned and a couple that are more nude and coral toned. So I'm going to be using this shade in the corner called Chic and just using my normal Sigma Duo Fiber brush to add a little bit of shape and color to my cheeks. Next, I'm going to be trying something. This is one of the things I'm a little worried about, like experimental wise, but I was sent 2 new products from Pixi that I'm going to be using today as a blush. So this is their Sheer Cheek Gel. They sent me 2 shades. So over here I have Flushed and over here is Rosy. I think I'm going to apply Rosy just because I think it'll suit my current skin tone better. And since it seems a little lighter, if I mess up, then it's not as big a deal. It looks definitely darker than the shade that is on here, which I'm assuming means that it will come out pretty sheer when I first apply it. So let's see what this looks like. This is so weird. I literally feel like I'm gonna put like craft like glue on my face or something because it's looking so jelly-ish, but I'm assuming it just blends out. So let's try it. Okay, yeah, that's a very sheer wash of color, so this is definitely a product that you will have to layer up. So it is definitely like staining my fingers a little, so you can see that once you blend it out. Alright, I don't really know how I feel about this one. It looks really kind of patchy, actually, that I'm not that into. And I feel like I kind of just messed up my foundation. This is why I don't use the Glossier Cloud Paints, because I just can't. I'm so bad at the cream blushes. Like, whoops. My fingers are so stained. Like, I'm trying to wipe it off and it's like not coming off. You see how it's just sitting on top of the foundation and it's really not like blending nicely or doing anything for me. It's not even really giving it that glow that I thought it was initially going to give. I think then I was correct to say that I'm not a fan of cream blushes, at least not until I learn how to apply them better. Like, how do you guys apply cream blushes? Let me know. I don't know. Part of me just wants to like wipe it off and put more foundation back on, which I guess is what I'm gonna probably do. Okay, please hold while I go fix this. I've attempted to reset my face to where we were at right before the blush thing happened, but this is kind of a disaster. I already put it back in the box because I like don't want to even deal with it right now. Okay, so moving on. I actually did not get sent a new highlighter, thank God, because I need like a little bit of consistency right now after what I just experienced. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of Glossier Haloscope in Quartz. Still a little scarred over here, but let's move on to eyes. As you guys know, I am a big fan of the Urban Decay priming potion when it comes to eyeshadow primers, but I finally purchased the Smashbox 24-hour eyeshadow primer, which I have tested out already, thankfully, and have used and have really liked. Rather than having a tube with a flat applicator like the Urban Decay one does, this is just a product that you squeeze out from this little tube here, so that's way too much that I just squeezed. You really only need a little bit of this, and you kind of just rub it right on to your lids. So the palette that I'm going to be using today, again, is not new to me, but it's the first time I'm going to be using it on my channel, and it is the Morphe 35P palette. So Morphe palettes, by the way, the product is really good and you get good value for your money. I believe this palette was $24 and you get 35 shades in here, which is amazing. I'm sure you're looking at like this part of the palette and going, Austin, what? But like, mostly focus on this side of the palette, although I would love to do a look sometime with some purple shadows just to change things up a little bit from my usual. My only complaint about this palette is that the shade names come in this detachable slip, so you can like place it over the shades to see the corresponding name. I never understand why they don't just put the names right below them. It would make my life so much easier. But anyway, so I'm going to start off by mixing together the top two shades over here. This is Bake and this is Lilac, and I'm just going to pop that all over my lid. Now I'm going to apply this shade over here, which is Loyal, and it's not really showing up on camera right now, but it's definitely like a true neutral color. It definitely has a little bit of a warmer undertone than a lot of shades in this palette. And now I have to be careful with this palette because as you can see, there are a lot of dark colors in here, and since this is a pretty pigmented palette, occasionally I've gone too dark or like more dark than I wanted to originally. So I'm going to try to stick to some of the lightest shades here. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of pinky and apply it to the outer corners of my eye. To finish up, I'm going to use this shade Tool and kind of just dust that right underneath my brow bone to blend out those shades a little more. And here is a quick look at the finished shadow. It's very subtle. I really love the light colors of this palette, but I definitely love to play with it more. So let me know if you guys might be interested in seeing like a 3 looks out of 1 palette kind of thing, because I'm happy to film something like that in the future if that palette is something that you want to be seeing more of. I'll keep you guys zoomed in here as I move on to my brows. So Thrive Cosmetics actually reached out to me and asked if they could send me a product to test out, and they just released a brow gel. So this is called Audrey, and you guys know how I am about my brows. I usually tend to stick to the same products, but I have played around a little bit with this one, and I really want to show you guys what it looks like on, because I feel like you'll see why I'm so intrigued by it. Similarly to Glossier's Boy Brow, it comes in this little tube and comes with a wand applicator, but unlike Glossier Boy Brow, that applicator is very thick and rounded, whereas this one is very thinned out. So I actually find that it's very helpful when you're drawing onto the brows, so that it's a little more precise and it just feels a little more like naturally the shape of your brows. And let me show you what it looks like when I put it on. Oh my god, can we talk about the difference between this side and this side? Like, that is insane, and it's just from one product. I honestly don't feel like I need to use liner with this product at all because it's really, really accurate and it just gets every hair exactly where I want it to be in place. I'm obsessed with this, like day and night the difference right now. The reason I think you notice such a strong contrast is because this is actually a semi-permanent brow gel, so it's meant to kind of be like as though you're getting a quick temporary eyebrow tint, and then you can take it off at the end of the day. So that's why the effect is coming up a little stronger. For this reason, I would suggest going for a lighter shade if you're deciding between two shades. They did send me a darker shade too, which is definitely too dark for me, so you know what that means. Probably gonna be in an upcoming giveaway at some point. This almost makes me forget about the blush thing from earlier. I'm thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly impressed with this product. Thank you, Thrive, again for sending me this. For the final product, which I actually mentioned in my Instagram chooses my makeup video from Vlogmas, if you didn't watch that one, and this is the mascara that you guys did not choose, but I have still been playing around with it anyway. It is the Rodial XXL Glamo Lash Mascara, so I have really been enjoying this. Just to show you the difference with and without the mascara on it. I feel like this is a really good in-between for Glossier Lash Slick and L'Oreal Lash Paradise. So if you want kind of the best of both of those mascaras, I would definitely check this one out. One thing to keep in mind with this product is it's a very wet formula, so I would keep a tissue or something nearby in case you need to wipe off any excess. But if you hate drying mascaras like I do because it just makes your lashes feel so brittle, you would definitely like this formula. Okay, and the last thing is lips. I just put a little bit of Aquaphor on my lips because I have very dry lips and I always have to do that before I apply any lip products. This is the Lipstick Queen lipstick in the shade Blooming Blush. I actually have heard so much about Lipstick Queen back from when I worked at Nylon, because I think they actually did like a collaboration with them a long time ago, but I haven't tried it myself. It's this really beautiful nude color, so I actually really like that because it's kind of a pinky nude, so it's like if you can't decide which one you want, it's got a little bit of both undertones to it. I'm really actually very into that. And here is my finished Get Ready With Me. It took a little longer than anticipated. I'm actually really happy with how this look turned out. I don't think it's anything too different from what I normally do, but you guys got to see me play around with a few different products, which I know is always more interesting than seeing the same stuff over and over again. I just wanted to quickly call out my two favorite products that I used in this video and my two least favorite products that I used in this video. One of the things that I tried that I wasn't that into was the Beauty Blender. I just feel like this is so much smaller than the Real Technique sponge. I like the feel of the Real Technique sponge better. I think they blend it out pretty much the same, but since this is more expensive and the Real Techniques is cheaper, in my opinion, it's not really worth it to switch it up, but obviously I will continue to use this because now I have a clean-ish beauty blender, and my Real Technique sponge is gross, so until I order another one, I will use the beauty blender in the meantime. Of course, you guys saw that I was not a huge fan of this cheek product, which, by the way, this is a very, very rare exception. Every other product I've tried from Pixi, I have loved. I love their liquid lipsticks, I love all of their skincare stuff, I love their cream eyeshadows, and so to only have one product that's disappointed me so far is pretty impressive, so I will still continue to use Pixi and love them, of course, but I might see if there's a friend who wants to test this out who's more into cream blushes than I am. My top two products from this video were definitely the First Aid Beauty Priming Moisturizer. I just love the smell of this one. I love how it applies, and I feel like it provided the perfect base for the Revlon foundation and concealer that I used today, so this is definitely one that you will see me using more. And of course, the Thrive Cosmetics Brow Gel. This is the shade Audrey, as I mentioned. I'm just so impressed with, like, doesn't it look like I added a pencil or something too, or I might have had to use gel separately to set on top of it? Like, this is the all-in-one situation, so this is definitely great for me for when I'm gonna be traveling. I know that I can just have this one product and I don't have to bring a gel and a pencil or a powder and a clear gel to set. You can just kind of have it in one place. That's all for me, you guys. Thank you again so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you see, please consider hitting subscribe down below. That just welcomes you into my YouTube community and notifies you whenever I have a new video so that you don't have to go searching for it or anything like that. If you enjoyed this video, also please give it a thumbs up so I know to do more videos along the lines of first impressions or get ready with me. Thank you guys all again for watching, and I will see you again in Monday's video. Bye!